Everybody, JC here with another TNI toy review, and today's review is in association with JediInsider.com, your #1 news source for everything Star Wars. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the brand new Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch Toys R Us exclusive Rogue One Imperial Hovertank pilot figure from Hasbro. Now this figure comes packaged in the same style packaging we see with all the Black Series figures. You've got the black box with the red background. Up at the top you've got the Black Series logo, and down below you have the image of the character and the name. Also with this, since it's a Toys R Us exclusive, you have that Toys R Us sticker on the front. On the side you have the red border, but there's no numbering since it's an exclusive. And then on the back of the packaging you have a brief bio in multiple languages. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other contents. Now the only accessory this figure actually comes with is a blaster, and this looks pretty much like an regular Imperial Stormtrooper blaster. It's done with just a black plastic, and you've got the scope on the top and the magazine on the side. So again, this just looks like a regular Stormtrooper blaster, and it's done with a pretty flexible rubber type material, and you can put it in either hand. He'll hold it in his right hand. He's got a trigger finger for the right hand, so that's the best hand to put it in, but you can also fit it in the left hand if you want, and he holds it nice and tight. And here's a comparison with a regular Imperial Stormtrooper blaster, and the only difference is the regular Stormtrooper blaster is a darker black than with this Hovertank pilot. So for the figure itself, this guy basically looks very much like the Scarif Stormtrooper. The armor design is very similar. You can see there's some differences with the helmet. The helmet on the Hovertank pilot is much more sleek looking, but you still got that blast shield up at the top. It protrudes out on the sides a little bit more on the Hovertank over the Scarif, but again, very similar. And then the rest of the armor, again, is very similar. The belts are a little bit different. You don't have the skirt piece on the Hovertank figure, and the Hovertank's got these pouches that kind of come down over his legs. But the sculpting on the armor, the chest piece and everything is the same. The pants are the same, and then the boots are the same basically. Now the Hovertank pilot's armor is more of a white color, similar to a regular Imperial Stormtrooper, as opposed to that cream color that we see with the Scarif Stormtrooper. I like the paint applications. You've got, again, that white on the armor, but then you've got some wash effect to make it look dirty, so I like that. You've got the metallic silver for these little buckles that come over his shoulder. I like how the helmet is sculpted. I like the helmet on this guy, I think, a little better than the Scarif. I like the sleeker look to it. I like how the eyes are done. And then he's got that back piece, and again, that's the same as the Scarif. It's exactly the same, and the belt on the back is the same. You got that little thing that sticks out like you always see with Stormtroopers. So overall detailing's pretty good. He's got this black mark here, but no other markings as far as color markings like we see on the Scarif. And then again, you've got some wash effect on the lower legs here to give it that dirt look on the armor. So this figure stands almost 6 inches exactly. So here's a comparison with our other Rogue One Imperial figures that have been released. So we have the regular Imperial Stormtrooper and then the Scarif Squad Commander, and these guys are all about the same height. And then you have the Death Trooper, who's the tallest of the bunch. Articulation, you can turn the head to the left and the right. It's on a ball hinge joint, so he can look down pretty good and he can look back a little bit. You can pivot the head a little bit, but not too much. Arms attached with your standard ball hinge joint, so he's got good rotation. Now he has these shoulder pads, but he can actually get his arm out good. The shoulder pad will go under the chest piece armor, so it doesn't really limit that movement there. He does not have a bicep swivel. He has a swivel at the elbow, though, a single hinged elbow, but can still bend pretty good. And then he's got swivels at the wrist, and he's got up and down movement with the hinges on the hands. Then he's got a midsection joint, so he's got rotation there at the midsection. Can't really crunch down a whole lot, and really can't look back very much either. Does not have a waist swivel. Legs are attached with ball joints, but really can only do the splits about that much. And then he can get his leg forward. Now when you do the leg forward, it does bend out that little pouch on his belt, which is made with a rubber type material, so just be wary of that. And then he can do his leg kind of out and back. He's got a thigh swivel. He's got a double jointed knee, so good bending at the knee. And then he's got hinges on the feet, so good up and down movement with the feet. And he's got ankle pivot, and 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I think this is a pretty cool figure. I like the design of it. It's very similar to the Scarab Stormtrooper, but I like the helmet a little bit better, and I think I like the more white colored armor, and I do like how they gave it the wash effect to look like the armor's dirty. My only complaint, I guess, is that we don't actually have a 6-inch scale hover tank. In fact, I don't think they've even released the hover tank in 3 1/4 inch scale, so hopefully we'll at least see it in that scale eventually. But this figure is available now at Toys R Us. It is a Toys R Us exclusive, and last time I checked, it was actually available on their website. We'll have a full image gallery up at JediInsider.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I'll have links to those in the video description below. And until next time, I'll catch you later.